What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for a Smackdown review for December the 18th, 2020. TLC is this Sunday. We will have the predictions later in the show. Who's going to win? Who's going to be Asuka's tag team partner? And so much more. So, Smackdown starts off with Kevin Owens, who, of course, has had his problems with Roman Reigns and his family over the last few weeks and is going to be challenging for the Universal Championship at TLC. If I can get the right page up here, we can continue on. Let's see here. And yes, we are on FS1, and the reason we're on FS1 is because, if I'm correct, there was a football game going on during that time, so WWE was not going to be able to be on Fox. So, as we go, Kevin Owens, we see what happened with Kevin Owens last week. He just comes to the ring. Owens takes the mic and addresses Universal Champion, saying he's been waiting all week and not waiting 1 minute longer. Calls Reigns out and says, "Let's do this." Reigns doesn't show, and he says, "That's fine for now," because he has something he wants to discuss. His family heard Reigns' message loud and clear last week, and he told his family not to watch Sunday's TLC match under any circumstances, but not because of what they think of what Reigns will do to Owens, but what they will think of Owens and what he does to Roman Reigns. So he's pretty much like, I don't care what Roman does to me. My family's not going to think anything of it, but I don't want my family to think anything different of me after what I do to Roman Reigns. He said he heard Reigns recently tell Jey Uso that he cares what his sons think of him, and says that doesn't matter because if they've been watching, they already know Reigns is a hypocrite. He goes on about how Reigns uses his family members as pawns and says that's pathetic. Reigns' actions proves he knows he's not the head of the table, he's a coward. So Paul Heyman appears on the big screen from backstage outside of Reigns' locker room. He recalls talking smack conversation with Owens and how he said he was a masochist, and because Reigns is a sadist. But Owens really isn't a masochist. He's a martyr and will do what he needs for the title, sacrificing everything and anything. Heyman goes on with his promo and says, mutilation won't stop Owens, so Owens needs to be eliminated, taken out, eradicated. Owens interrupts and says he can't hear one more word coming out of Heyman's fat mouth, and if Reigns won't come to him and come out here to find him, he's going to go find Roman Reigns. So he heads out of the ring, he heads to the back, and we go to commercial break. We come back, and Adam Pearce is trying to talk Kevin Owens out of this. Like, dude, TLC is in 2 days. Don't do this. You'll have your shot on Sunday. Stop. So he gets to Roman's locker room door, tries to open it, it's locked. If you notice the TV screen that's right beside Roman's locker room, the TV shows the Thunderdome, but Roman's logo and entrance like entrance graphic, but not the music. But he tries to open the door, the music hits, and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are coming to the ring. So Reigns says he doesn't want to hurt Owens or his family, but Owens is running around telling everyone he's a bad guy. Reigns says he's not a bad guy, he's just doing what it takes to be the guy. There's that line again, because even though Roman Reigns is a heel, they gotta just, like, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm just the guy everywhere. That is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has been trying to get that saying over for Roman Reigns for years, and it has failed every single fucking time. So yeah, you had to see that one coming back. Reigns is going to show Owens he's a good guy. He's going to give Owens the same chance he gave his own flesh and blood. We see Owens, who was watching from the screen, walk away in the back. He's going to be heading to the ring. He wants Owens to acknowledge him as the head of the table. You're the head of your table. If he doesn't But if he doesn't or just can't, then Reigns is going to end him. He won't even make it to TLC. Hell, he won't even make it out of here tonight. Reigns calls Owens to the ring to come and apologize and tell him the words he wants to hear. Drops the mic. Turns to the stage to wait for the boos to get louder. Here comes Owens as the fake fan, the piped-in fan crowd comes in. All of a sudden, Jey Uso attacks from behind on the bottom of the ramp. Uso loads on with lefts and rights. Owens tries to fight back. Reigns comes out, and these two are just beating the bejesus out of Kevin Owens. So they are beating this poor soul down. Beating him down. Referees and agents try to come out and stop them. Reigns grabs Kevin Owens and throws him against the barricade. Uso's telling him to stay down. Just stay down, man. Just stay down. Owens starts to get up. Reigns launches him into the barrier. As we said, Heyman comes out and hands the title over to Reigns, places it on his shoulder. They walk away, and Owens is stumbling, trying to get to his feet. Still to come, the Street Profits will defend against Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the tag team titles. Back from break, we see what happened just with Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns are in the back. Uso goes on about how Owens got the message and understands now, but Reigns says no. He doesn't understand. He doesn't listen. I know his kind. He's just going to keep going. He's just going to keep coming. So we need to end him. I want you to end him. Take him out. Take him down. I don't want to see him again. So he walks off. Smackdown Tag Team Title match, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus the Street Profits. This match has been building for a couple weeks. This goes all the way back to Raw, where the Street Profits were the Raw Tag Team Champions and were beat by Ziggler and Roode in a non-title match. Then, of course, the draft happened. They switched the titles. And of course, Roode and Ziggler were brought to SmackDown as well. And they've been trying to get a tag team title opportunity for weeks. For weeks, pretty much. I guess WWE didn't have room for this match on TLC. So it's going to happen. It happened tonight. Was this a good match? Yes, sir. All four men go out there and have themselves one hell of a match. Ziggler, Roode, do everything they can to try and win this match. Montez Ford just had, the story of this match is Montez Ford's ribs have been injured for a good while, apparently. He's just sitting there, he's clutching his ribs every once in a while. Ziggler and Roode, it's like blood, it's like shark in the water with some blood. They're just going after his ribs. He hits the frog splash later in the match, and Michael Cole thought that Ziggler got his legs up, got his knees up, and that's why Montez Ford was holding his ribs and stuff. But no, it was just good selling because his ribs were so bad that he had to try and sacrifice his ribs to get the win. Unfortunately, at that time, it did not get the win. The match comes down to basically Roode tries to cheat by rolling up Ford and holding the tights. He's doing it very lazily. So Ford gets out of that, rolls him up in a title package holding the tights 1, 2, 3, and the Street Profits cheat to win after Ford stops Roode from cheating. Again, heck of an opening match for the night, even though they had two segments we had two talking segments back to back. Good grief. So, let's see here. Kevin Owens backstage walking with officials who are telling him now is not the time. Jey Uso attacks from behind with a chair. Owens is out he lays him out with a steel chair and yells at Owens and walks off. The referees and Adam Pearce send Owens to the back, tend to Owens as he stumbles to his feet. Back to commercial break. Now this is something you're going to see mostly through the night, is that Jey Uso is doing everything he can to quote unquote end Kevin Owens because Roman Reigns wants everyone to fear him. He is the Universal Champion. He is the Tribal Chief. He is the head of the table. And if you do not fear him, you do not respect him. And everyone must fear and respect Roman Reigns. And Kevin Owens is defying that every step of the way. Kayla Braxton's backstage with Bianca Belair asking about tonight's match with Bayley. Belair disagrees with Bayley being a role model and says despite what she's accomplished on her own, she's always wanted to face Bayley, and since coming to SmackDown, and she's been her measuring stick. Honestly, that's the truth. Bayley has been the measuring stick for a lot of these women out there because she was the women's champion for 380 days. She, along with Sasha Banks, put SmackDown on their back for 2020. Before Roman made his return and Roman Reigns became the tribal chief and was off tending to his family and doing whatever, Roman Reigns, Bayley and Sasha Banks, held this down. Without Bayley and Sasha Banks, where would SmackDown be? Who the fuck knows? All I know is it would not be where it is right now. It would probably be lowest rated segment, probably next to Raw as the lowest rated things on TV, because up until, honestly, 2020, the pandemic thing was and the way Bayley and Sasha Banks were, for the most part, was a saving grace for SmackDown, because SmackDown was treading so far down. It was just going down the shitter every single week. And then the pandemic hit. SmackDown was left with Bayley and Sasha Banks after Roman Reigns left, who was really not where we wanted to see him. He's not the Roman Reigns we see now. But SmackDown was just so bad was so unbearable to watch, and then things just have been turning around mostly because of Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Roman Reigns. Baylor goes on and says, as usual, the EST will SHINE. Riot Squad versus Billie Kay and Tamina. Now, a couple months ago, you had the Riot Squad face the Moronics in a tag team match. The winners of that match got a tag team title opportunity against the tag team champions at the time, which were Bayley and Sasha. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it wasn't. It was with Nia Jax. It was going to be the first title defense for Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And the losers of that match had to be split up, because Vince McMahon, even the women aren't safe for tag team split ups. Just ask Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. But anyway, so they split them up. They moved them from different brands. Peyton Royce is on Raw, Bayley Kay is on SmackDown. Here's my thing about this. What's the point of breaking this team up if you're going to have them just team up with other people? Billie Kay last week was offered a match against the Riot Squad. She needed to find a partner, and she found Natalya. So, okay. This week, she found Tamina. This week, they paired her with Tamina. Wouldn't it have been just smart to have her team with Peyton Royce and just be the Moronics? Be the annoying tag team that everyone knows? I thought they were doing this. They were splitting this team up because Peyton Royce was supposed to be the next single star for the women's division. But she's not. She's been nowhere to be seen on Raw. SmackDown, it's Tamina, it's Billie Kay and Partner A and Partner B. What the fuck? Anyway. So this match happens. Nothing special here. Billie Kay gets beat again, as you figured. After the match, Liv Morgan and them celebrate. Tamina looks on, annoyed at the fact that she had the match won. Basically, what happened was Billie Kay did nothing. Tamina was beating the hell out of everybody. She had the match won. Billie Kay tagged in and was like, get the hell out of the ring. And then she ended up losing for her team. Back from break, and we see Carmella Sommelier is in the ring with a setup of her champagne. She will highlight from last week's SmackDown main event with Sasha Banks to retain over for the title. Carmella comes out wearing a damn sexy looking attire, I'm just saying. Corey Graves is one lucky man, I'm just going to say that right now. But she comes out, she talks, she gloats about being untouchable and all this other shit. I'm going to be honest, I muted this because she tasted some wine. Sasha Banks' music hit. Sasha Banks, she sends the sommelier out to try and stop Sasha Banks coming down the ramp, which of course means that Sasha Banks is going to come from behind. She comes from the announce area, from the behind area, grabs some wine, tastes it, and then throws it in her face. They have a little fight for a minute. The sommelier comes in, pulls Sasha Banks off, And then we get another piece of, another wine bottle broken over Sasha Banks' back. Typical, typical, typical. Am I looking forward to that match? Not really. Kevin Owens back in the trainer's room getting checked on. Jey Uso runs in and attacks him in a brawl, but Jey Owens is hurting. Uso drives him through a table with a big spine buster. The referee runs in to check on him. And Owens is as Uso walks off. Back to commercial. Otis versus Shinsuke Nakamura. So, as we know, Otis has been doing this whole Alpha Academy thing with Chad Gable. Last week, of course, they lost because Chad Gable tagged in. And he spun it as, don't do what I tell you to do. I'm going to show you what to do by showing you what, I'm going to teach you what to do by showing you what not to do. Keep that in mind. So, they're having this match, and Otis got new gear. He's not wearing the underwear anymore. He's got a singlet on now, which is absolutely fine. Need to cover that gut up. But he's having the match, and it's working pretty well. Otis goes for the counter, but Gable jumps on the apron and tells him not to do it. Do a suplex instead. Otis goes to grab Nakamura, but Nakamura rolls him up for a 2. Otis fights and hits a different suplex. Goes for the top rope, hits second rope, hits the Vader Bomb, 1, 2, 3, and gets the pinfall. They celebrate and everything. And I just saw on social media everywhere. Everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe Shinsuke Nakamura lost to Otis. What the hell, man? Why is Otis beating Shinsuke Nakamura? 2 years ago, I would have saw this as a problem and an indictment on Shinsuke Nakamura. This is 2020. Shinsuke Nakamura they have done nothing with Shinsuke Nakamura. They have no plans for Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura is teaming with Cesaro, which sucks for both of them because those two are very talented individuals who should be, honestly, in my opinion, possibly feuding over a world championship at one time or another, or a championship altogether. But Otis, it's just, like Nakamura, like I said, Nakamura 2 years ago, if he would have lost to Otis, I would have been like, that's not good. But this is 2020. And then I also saw someone say, I can't wait for Shinsuke Nakamura to, for his contract to come up so he doesn't have to deal with Vince McMahon's bullshit anymore. And I'm like, Shinsuke Nakamura re-signed for the 5 years to the company last year. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. So, yeah, anybody thinking that Shinsuke Nakamura is on his way out from WWE, you're sadly mistaken. He's going to be in WWE for at least the next 4 years. He's going till 2025, if I'm correct. But they're doing this thing with Otis and Chad Gable. Honestly, with the fact that he had Otis not do the Caterpillar and Otis still won, it kind of made no sense. With the fact that he's trying to teach Otis what to do by showing him what not to do, I would have had Nakamura win that match. Because it would have kept pushing that along that Otis shouldn't do what Gable was telling him to do. He needs to do his own thing. Now, Sami Zayn's backstage in a suit. He has a crew member in there with him when he's been helping him prepare for the Sammy Awards because the Slammies are on Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Do I care? Not particularly. They have 5 action figure like Golden Awards to hand out. Sammy yells at the crew member for not polishing them. Sammy walks off to get something to polish with. Biggie walks up as he's also dressed for the awards. It appears he's just laughing like a goofy madman, apparently ready to ruin the awards ceremony. The announcers leads to a happy holiday video with, oh, this was so bad. So we all know 2020 has been a terrible year. And all this bullshit that's been going on. So WWE decided to have some fun with it. So they show a video package of Drew McIntyre talking in the ring. Out comes this CGI, 2020 monster that, like, it's obviously voiced. It honestly sounds like it was voiced by Braun Strowman, saying, "This is my year," blah, blah, blah. So they show video clips of Roman, Bayley, Seth Rollins, and other WWE talents from not all of them from the Thunderdome. There are other clips too, and it's like they just took whoever they hit the move on out and put the 2020 monster in there. So they beat it up. It won't stay down. In comes 2021, a superhero 2021 to beat up on 2020, and I'm thinking this is stupid. This is dumb. This is a waste of my time. But also, shouldn't this be what you show on the last episodes of the year? We still got a couple of those, don't we? Still have 2 episodes of Raw and 2 episodes of SmackDown to go? So why are we getting... Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I think it's 2 episodes of I think it's 2 episodes of Raw and 1 episode of SmackDown. So it's why am I seeing this stupid fucking thing this week? It's kind of dumb. Back from breaking this announcement, talking smack is Bayley, the Street Profits, Carmella, and Kevin Owens. Host Paul Heyman, Caleb Braxton, joined by Hall of Famer Booker T. He's not known. He isn't shown in the graphics. But Graves plugs the Rock interview with Jay Glazer at Fox Sports. There's no mention of the previously advertised interview with Sasha Banks on Fox Sports and Fox Sports Charlotte Wilder. Chad Gable and Otis are backstage. Gable talks about not using the caterpillar when you had it done. It was ready to set up. And Otis is but you said... And he's dude. What is the Alpha's philosophy? Don't do what I say. Do what I mean. He tells them the training resumes tomorrow. Alpha style. I don't know where this is going. It's going to be interesting to see how far this goes. And what's going to go on with them. But yeah. Gable and Otis. It's another one of those things. And they're doing it with him too. You got rid of Heavy Machinery. And you broke them up. They had major chemistry together. Why would you get rid of them and have Otis start teaming with Chad Gable? I just don't get this. I really don't. We go to the stage and Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn's out of the podium. He's wearing a suit. He's dressed up for the Sammy Awards. Video package narrated by Corey Graves is all about Sami Zayn and making him look good. Sami says there's a year it's been. He's ready to present the first Sammy Award. And for comeback of the year, he mentions people like Hall of Famer Edge, Roman Reigns, and himself. And then he wins that award. Because, of course, it's the Sammy Awards. Who do you think's going to fucking win these things? He goes, match of the year, and says the winner is him beating Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles in a ladder match at Night of Champions. Then he goes for Superstar of the Year. And he's and the Sammy goes to Big E. So they put a graphic up of Big E. Big E comes out. He's all jovial and happy and everything. And he's won the Sammy. And talking about Notre Dame, hoping Notre Dame covers the spread tomorrow. Whatever. Sami Zayn pushes him on. He's I'm sorry, we have a little bit of misunderstanding. Here's the real Sammy. And then Big E beats him up. Beats him up a little bit. And takes the fake Sammy, the fake trophy, just throws it down and breaks it. And that was that. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. This is your TV main event for wrestling because tonight we're also going to have the main event segment is going to be Roman Reigns giving his final words to Kevin Owens before the pay-per-view. So this was a hell of a match. I'm just going to be honest. These two, I could watch these two wrestle every fucking day. They're great. They're absolutely great. And this was one hell of a match. Not much I can say. Belair is definitely going to be someone to look forward to in 2021. I'm hoping that we could hopefully see a Bianca Belair Women's Championship run in 2021. I highly doubt it because this is how WWE goes. Because Vince McMahon is uber racist. Just saying. But she takes Bayley to her limit. She goes for a powerbomb. After Bayley tries something, she puts her in a powerbomb and position. Bayley grabs her, rakes her eye, hits what they call the rose push. What is it called? The rose plant or something like that, because it's take on her original name, Davina Rose. The rose spot or whatever it's called, and gets the pin in the win. After the match, Bayley hits the ramp, celebrate as music hits. We go to replays, and Belair recovers in the ring as she taunts her from the outside. We get the hype of TLC this Sunday. We go to replays, and Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman all come out for the final segment. Reigns says, for the longest time, he's been trying to understand why. If you had the chance to be in the ring with him, on the island of relevancy, in the main event of a pay-per-view, in a title match with Roman Reigns, why would you ruin it? Just why? This is what the kids of Owens' kids and their kids will be talking about. And I'm thinking, probably not. He goes on, but out comes Kevin Owens. He is in real bad shape. He is trying to get to the ring as quickly as possible. Jay comes down and meets him. Kevin Owens bashes him with the chair. He gets to the ring. Roman grabs the chair. They brawl for a bit. Jay comes in. They have a big time brawl. And they beat the hell out of Kevin Owens. Jay gets 2 tables. He puts him through a table. Roman puts him through another table. Jago gets 2 more tables and a bunch of chairs, and then Roman has Jay. They pretty much bury him in the debris of the first 2 tables and the other tables, and some chairs and some ladders. And they do this. They throw all this stuff down. They walk away. And they get to the back. Kayla Braxton wants to answer the question. Kevin Owens is getting up, and Jey Uso is letting Roman know, dude, he's getting up. Roman walks away pissed off because Kevin would not stay down. And Kevin says, Roman, after everything, nothing you and your family can do will keep me down. At TLC, I'm taking the Universal Championship, or I'm going to die trying. His music plays, and we go off the air. Smackdown, the go-home show to TLC, is done and over with. Pretty good show. We had 2 really good matches. I think that was the only, other than, we had, 3 matches on the night? Yeah, 3 matches. One was a dumpster fire, didn't need to happen, and the other 2 were pretty good. But let's talk about TLC itself. TLC, of course, comes from the I want to say the Amway Center, but the Tropicana Fields in the Thunderdome. We have 6 matches, and as far as I know, none of the pre-show, because pre-show doesn't really matter. They'll throw something together on Sunday. The New Day will put their tag team titles on the line against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin of the Hurt Business for the 4th time, whatever it is. And I think this is going to be the time that they take the titles off the New Day. I mean, the New Day have had the titles multiple times. I think this will be a way to give the Hurt Business a run with the titles. And it also gives them they can give the build to Cedric Alexander leaving the Hurt Business eventually, because they already seem to be putting those seeds in there. They're going to win the match. They win the titles. They hold them for a bit. New Day might win them back, and then the Hurt Business, and then Cedric Alexander gets excommunicated from the Hurt Business because it's his fault. Sasha Banks versus Carmella. Sasha Banks wins this. There is no reason to give Carmella the championship whatsoever. Asuka, let's talk about Asuka and TBD versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Now, Peyton Royce on Twitter apparently offered to be her partner. And Peyton Royce is like, let's do this. No problem. Asuka's like, sure, let's do this. But why would WWE go months with having Lana get beat down, put through table after table after table, only for her revenge match, which is supposed to be this Sunday, winning the titles, getting revenge on her bullies, taking their gold? Why would they get rid of her? Why would they remove her? She's not injured. She's not injured at all. They got rid of her because it's time to make Charlotte Flair's big triumphant return. That's what's going to happen. Peyton Royce is probably going to come out thinking she's going to be the person who's going to be Asuka's partner, and then Charlotte's going to come out and say, no, this is my spot. And that's where we're going with this. Charlotte Flair is going to make a return. Now, are they going to win the tag team titles? No. I believe that Charlotte is going to make a return, cost her team the tag team titles because she wants to be the Raw Women's Champion. Do I see Charlotte getting a championship match? Probably not, because the Royal Rumble's coming up next month, and I just don't see them wanting to give her the championship right then and there and just be like, well, she's not going to be in the Rumble. But if they do, I can see them doing that too, but I just don't see them wanting to do that. All I know is I'm saying Charlotte makes a return. It makes the most sense. Why else would you have? There's no really any other reason why you would have have her taken away. Just no. Okay, so The Fiend versus Randy Orton in a Firefly Inferno match. What the fuck is a Firefly Inferno match? I don't know. Obviously, the only thing I can say about this, Randy Orton loses, so The Fiend can move on to his next victim. That's all I can say. So we have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens TLC match for the Universal Championship. I'm going with Roman Reigns. There's no reason to even think that Kevin Owens is going to win this thing. Roman wins, no doubt about it. Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles with almost tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Championship. I'm going with Drew McIntyre. I think that WWE is going to eventually bring it back around to be Randy Orton winning the championship, going into WrestleMania as champion. I just don't see them going and bringing, having Drew McIntyre be champion for the majority of the year, even though he has been, if he was to keep the championship going into WrestleMania next year, he would have been champion for almost an entire year minus 3 weeks. If they were going to have Drew McIntyre going to WrestleMania this coming year as champion, you wouldn't have had Randy Orton beat him whatsoever. There would have been no reason to have Randy Orton win that match. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be, I'm just saying, Drew's winning, AJ's going to be losing. I wouldn't mind seeing Randy Orton AJ Styles winning the championship again. I just don't see it happening. So look at these again. We got the Hurt Business over the New Day, Sasha Banks over Carmella, Roman Reigns over Kevin Owens, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler over Asuka and Charlotte Flair, Fiend over Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre over AJ Styles. That is your predictions for TLC. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, find me on Parallel at the France Club, find me on twitch.tv/the find me on Instagram at the France Club, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for TLC. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.